I'm just going to run through some of these libraries that have been written by the Seaside community that we've included in 76 builds. To give you a good idea of stuff that we can do.
You say Seaside community, is that mostly split? It's
expanded significantly. The Visual Works had Seaside for a while now in a contributed more support. We have customers using the production system. Dolphin has had Seaside for a while, and Seaside 2.8, which was just recently released, is in the process of being ported to the latest version of Dolphin as well. There is a project for Small Gates actually at Seaside. I'm not sure how well that's going. Visual Age, Smalltalk is promising. V8 Smalltalk, I should say, is promising Seaside in the next release as well. So yeah, it's everywhere right now.
And also Gemstone.
Hey, don't forget, Gemstone in a major way has picked up Seaside and they've got any
So do you think the Seaside project will be portable between all these Seaside implementations across different small parts?
Yeah, I mean, it could very well be. Now, we have a split package, which is a split compatibility package that we load in to support Seaside. And that means that all these components work that have been written in split work in Visual Works. And Object Studio, I should mention Object Studio there on Seaside as well.
Correct me if I'm wrong, and all the official original source is Speak, and then all the other vendors take it from the Speak version and bring it into their own environment.
And the Seaside, yeah. There are some components that were written in Visual Works.
Right, but then the official source is Speak.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, how much Speak do you actually import to make Seaside work?
Not so much. The Seaside community is very aware of porting, and they make it their responsibility to make Seaside as portable as possible. They have a Seaside platform support class where they put initial development practice, and they have certain programming guidelines they follow. For example, Speak has the initialize package on object. Not on the small one has that, I believe. So they avoid it in Seaside. They make sure that they don't assume that that's there. So that's very good of them. I mean, it's fantastic if you're going to make a library that's probably across networks and you do that sort of thing. Incidentally, I would love it if we had an initial package. I'm not sure if that'll happen actually.
The Gemstone guys, I think they were talking about importing a fairly big chunk of Speak, but then I guess they read Seaside from Monticello.
We do too.
Oh, so you have to import Monticello as well?
We don't import Monticello. We have a simple Monticello importer. So we take the source code straight from the Monticello HTTP repository and publish it into the store with very minimal changes. We put the code into namespaces, into a package, set up prerequisites, that sort of thing. There's a couple of minor patches in there, but it's almost an exact copy of the code from Speak's Monticello publish.
Are non-speakers actually having to Seaside or is it?
Yeah, definitely. One of the components, short components, is starting to work, and it's also available in Speak now, and by Richard Boris. I'm not sure, maybe I'm wrong there. But yeah, that's definitely one the other way. I think we'll see more of that as time goes on. Especially the more easy it is to use Seaside in other environments, the more we'll see lots more explanation. Yeah, it's a very good project for that. AC stuff. So, asynchronous callbacks is one of the hallmarks of Web 2.0, where instead of doing a web request to the server and rerendering the entire page, you do a micro request to the server and get a micro change back to the client and update a little bit of the page. So one of the results of this is the ability to click on this three here and have this bit of the page update. I wanted to show you how dynamic this is. So we see here we have the multiple selection here with this multi-select 3. As I click on this button here, it highlights in yellow temporarily, telling me that part of the page has changed. So this is a combination of Seaside doing asynchronous callbacks and web browser doing dynamic updating, and Firebug telling us that things changed. So it's very subtle, but it's actually a dynamic environment, which is very nice. So instead of doing this whole as well as jump, all post, rewrite that page, re-render that page, you've actually got RPC. which is what people was really what we do was working on. No one can get there, but have it. But more importantly, the thing that changed, we kind of had this for a long time, the thing that changed was the implementations of doing this became cross-browser compatible. And when that happened, WebTrip and really started that. You could write web applications that behaved the same on all the major browsers, and that made it work out. Yep.
Okay, I don't know much about web development, so I might ask a silly question, but I'm going to ask anyway. So, like, if I were to, like, compare with, like, let's say Ruby and Rails, or the good old way to do web development now, is it, what you're presenting, is Seaside doing something that is not possible to do in, like, a standard web development way, or is it something that is very convoluted to do in a standard development? I'm supposing that would be the answer.
Yeah, so there's a combination of things there. I mean, a lot of it is to do with how hard, how much effort you put into it.
Okay.
So with continuations, any workflow on the website, for instance, that generally was a go-to scenario in www. Go to this page, now go to that page, now go to this page.
Yeah.
Whereas a small tool, now you can like code that says, ask them this, ask them that, now show them this. And it's literally more like a go stuff than a go-to. And that is a whole lot of things. And that's one of the big advantages when you see something like those people in browsers.
Okay.
You can build these transactions easy. So this is the async stuff, changing the async stuff this one. Back there. So moving on from async, that's just a core component of doing good applications in the web world these days. Move on to spectaculars, which is like the next evolution of this sort of dynamic update, where web programming starts becoming more fun. So Spectaculars has a very virtuous sort of website, and it's a big JavaScript framework for doing functions in the website, such as animations and Ajax callbacks and form controls and drag and drop and all that sort of stuff. And that's all been wrapped up in Seaside in small code. So if you see something like this dynamic counter here, which is updating only this tiny bit of the screen, we can go into the source code. So this is another kind of Web2 sort of thing, using Scriptaculars to embed what's called a light box in the middle of the page, so you can still see what you're doing in the background. It looks clear this is dialog, yet this is an Ajax thing. So it's doing lots of micro updates to the web server without too much effort. So I'm going to explain this code here. This code is actually out of date. It's an old version of the code, but it's still good enough to explain. What we're doing is we have a HTML span here that includes the count. So this is like the header we saw before. We're rendering the count on it, but we give that element an ID so that we can talk about that element on the client side. Then we have an anchor, and we say, on the click of the anchor, put out this HTML updater that will update that counter, do the increase and render the counter again. So that bit of code moves to the client as JavaScript. And it gets transformed into JavaScript with a callback to this small talk block on the server side to give it new HTML for that one step. Right? So this kind of code that you would normally write in regular web development is a lot of work. But here we're more look down to I want to update it, I want to update this ID, and I want to do it by doing this callback. So then we do that again for the minus, and the end result is when we click this plus button, we get a background update sent to the server, which sends back just a change for the server. To see that in action, we can look at the bar console. Whenever we hit plus, we see another post come through. If we look at the contents of this post, we see that it just contains the number that was the response. And the request just contained the action ID that we pressed. And that's it. That's the entire communication bouncing back and forth between the server and the client. Which is why WebTrip and our applications